knows what words start with and what letters start with what words, however you say that. Hey y'all, my name is Sharayah and I like sharing videos about homeschooling and motherhood. So if you like that kind of thing, be sure and subscribe and hit the little bell icon so that you can be notified in your subscription feed of my new videos. And if you like this video, then be sure to hit the like button. So today I want to share with you my 2020-2021 homeschool haul. So I had a very tight budget this year, $500 to be exact. And so I had to do all of the research and make sure that everything that I was getting is exactly what we would need for the upcoming school year. And so it was a long and thought out process, but from everything that I've learned last year, which was my first year full-on homeschooling my oldest, he is 4 going on 5 this year. I have taken what I've learned from there and decided on the curriculum from that moving forward and just where he is at now academically and what our goals are for this coming year. So the first thing on the list is language arts, and we need to learn to read this year. So I chose The Ordinary Parent's Guide to Teaching Reading by Jessie Wise and Sarah Buffington. And so I had a lot of recommendations for this book just on other websites that I've heard of. The Well-Trained Mind from Susan Wise Bauer recommends it, and it's super simple and easy. It was between this one and Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, and then the other one was The Good and the Beautiful, which was an even bigger curriculum. And so I decided against those other two because I just wanted to keep it plain and simple, and most importantly, cheap. And so this actually I found at half price books. It was like $8. So I mean, Teach Your Child to Read for $8. Thank you very much. I will do that. So I'm very excited about doing this. My son is looking forward to learning to read, and so we're just going to sit down, that's the plan, together for 20 minutes or so each day and work our way through it, and he'll learn to read. So there's that. The other part of language arts is handwriting. I chose a Reason for Handwriting curriculum. This is the level K, and it just goes through each of our letters of the alphabet and practice writing them. It's very simple writing. I knew I wanted to go ultimately to a Reason for Handwriting. Originally, I chose Zahner Blosser level K because it was colorful and fun, and a lot of the primary kindergarten level handwriting workbooks are very they're plain. They're just usually black and white, no pictures, and it's just, you know, practicing writing. I mean, handwriting in general, practicing it can be pretty boring, and I wanted to make it fun and exciting for him because at the start of this last year, he was not interested in any kind of worksheets or writing, but now he's taken off with it. And the reason why I'm doing this handwriting program now while he's only 4 going on 5 is because he is doing so well at his writing. So I believe that he is ready for this kind of curriculum now. That's what's so wonderful about homeschooling is you can decide and you know your child best. So we're going to be doing this. There are it's colorful kind of. There's pictures in there, and he'll be able to color these animals and things like that when we get through it. There's some review, and it's really basic, you know, just going through our letters, but that's kind of what you need in order to learn to write. So this was the best. And then ultimately, as we continue in this program, I really enjoy how they utilize scripture to write. So we're writing beautiful things straight from God's word. So that was another plus and why I chose this one. And it was super cheap as well. I got this one at Mardel. They had it for 20% off, so it was $20. For spelling, I was not going to do spelling at all. But here lately, he has been asking me, how do you spell this? How do you spell that? And he's been writing it out. And so he has already shown an interest and a capability of figuring out how to spell. He knows that whale starts with a W or bat ends with a T, so he understands that. And so this will it's our first spelling workout A from Modern Curriculum Press. It was another recommendation from the Well-Trained Mind, which is really what I'm basing all of my teaching stuff off. So we'll go through it at his own pace. I have a schedule in mind, but you know, those schedules always go off the wayside. So I'm really taking it at his pace, but also my discretion. So it's a fine balance. So there's that. Next we have math. And I really struggled with this for a long time. Originally I chose the Good and Beautiful math because it's fun. There's all sorts of activities and things that go with it, and it's an advanced program, and so he is really good at math. He's picking up math concepts quickly just by doing daily general math. This year, this school year we're about to finish, we started with Saxon math, and it was just utterly boring. I was bored teaching him it, and he was bored with it. I wanted something fun, but also I wanted something that would challenge him, but also meet him where he's at. He is only 4, and I believe he has the capabilities, but I don't want to push him harder than is necessary. So I heard of Math Lessons for a Living Education, and I looked at a bunch of reviews. I looked at the kindergarten level 1, and then at the level 1 level, and from what I could tell through all the flip throughs that I watched on YouTube and everything, level 1 was definitely where he's at, because the level K was just too young for him. He was already well advanced in those concepts. And what I had read and understood about this curriculum is that it takes a more gentle approach to math, and it's story based. And my son really does love stories, so that was really appealing to me, that component. Now, it didn't have all the fun, playful games and things that the Good and the Beautiful programs are known for in their math, but the stories was really enticing. And so it was kind of a toss-up. I just couldn't decide, and ultimately I actually was able to pick up a copy of this at Mardel. They'd never carried it before, and then suddenly they had it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to look through this. And as I was flipping through it, I realized that level 1 was definitely the one for him, and even if he didn't have all of the extra fluff and stuff, the games and all of that, he would be okay. This is right in the front of their book. It says, contrary to popular opinion, you don't need fancy, expensive, special manipulatives to teach math concepts. And that's true, and I'm trying to keep our schooling as minimal as possible. I'm kind of like a minimalish person. I don't want to get too crazy with all this fluff and stuff. I want to keep it simple and basic and just straightforward. And this was perfect for us. It fit what we like, and it's to his level. And while it's a gentler approach, he still knows a lot of this stuff in the beginning already. He is only 4, and I'm keeping that in mind as I'm going forward this year with him. So he will be well advanced of any of his peers by the time we finish it, if we finish it this next school year or not. I'm not going to hold him to that. We're just going to work our way through it over time and see how he does. And I believe that it's going to be a good fit for us. So there's math. Next we have The Story of the World for History by Susan Wise Bauer. This is just a copy that I had on hand, so it didn't cost me anything. And I actually have all the volumes. I really like it. So this is what we'll do for history. I really enjoy history, and last year I kind of got a little crazy and was excited about doing history. And so we did a supplemental activity for like everything we covered, but that is just way too much. Trying to keep it simple and basic this year. So we'll just read a couple of pages a day this year, memorize our CC history sentence, and then maybe do one supplemental activity, but if not, then that's okay. So history, story of the world. Next we've got mostly just resource books. So for this, Drawing with Children by Mona Brooks, this has come highly recommended by all the moms out there. And just looking through it, from what I can tell of their what other kids have done at amazing ages, they're drawing things better than I can, and I consider myself a pretty good artist. I can draw pretty well, if I do say so myself. And so these are just like incredible pictures of children at 4 and 5 years old drawing these amazing realistic pictures. And so I think drawing is an amazing skill to have, and what I've read is this book is perfect for teaching you step by step how to do that with children. And so I'm excited to go through this, not for a fine arts curriculum per se, but something to do when we're looking for something to do, or when we do want to sit down and actually do a fine arts lesson. I'll pull this out and we can work through it together. So there's that. Then everything else is mostly just kind of a resource, an extra resource. I got most of this stuff from Half Price Books, so super cheap there. And the first one is our history supplemental resource. We're going to be covering ancient Greece. And so I decided to get this Usborne internet-linked encyclopedia of ancient Greece, just as a supplemental resource for fun to look through whenever we don't feel like doing a project or something, or we don't have time for something like that. So that'll be really fun. And that was Half Price Books. This was Hobby Lobby. This is what we're going to be covering science with. So I don't necessarily have a specific science curriculum that we're going through this year. We have our CC science memory work, and then we'll just use that as a springboard. So if we're learning about animal classifications, then we'll pull up this book. This is How Great Is Our God by Louis Giglio. It's 100 Indescribable Devotions About God and Science. And I just heard about this book this year, and I'm super excited to get into it this upcoming school year, because God and science, they're not two separate things, they're one and the same. And so I'm excited to go through and just read about that. So whatever we're learning in CC, we'll pull it up in here and use it as part of our science curriculum, so to speak. And then the other one is the Usborne internet-linked First Encyclopedia of Science. And so Half Price Books as well. We'll just go through here and read about, we're going to be learning about plants. And so we'll just come in here, dip into the book, read a little bit more about it, enjoy some fun pictures, check out what the links are about, and that'll be our science curriculum. So super simple. And then finally, for geography, I got this Usborne Lift the Flap Picture Atlas. This has been a lot of fun for my kids, even now, just to flip through and look at. They've got all sorts of lift the flaps to learn about the peoples there, the geography, what they have there, just interesting facts about each continent. It's big and super fun, so they've enjoyed that. And then I also got this wall map behind me. It's my new favorite thing. I found it on Amazon, and I think it was like $35 or less or something. To me, it was cheap, and it's huge. I mean, it's huge. And it's been great just to have up, even at meal times. You're, drawn to look at the map and see, and just having that exposure to the kids. We have automatic geography lessons during mealtime, so it's been very good to have on hand. So that's all of the curriculum for this upcoming school year, or resources. And this cost me under $500, this stuff alone. Most of it was Half Price Books. Some of it was Mardel and Hobby Lobby on sale or at a discount. And I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, it was Amazon, I think. Drawing with Children I got from Amazon, and then history I already had on hand. So less than $500 there. And then everything else that my budget went towards is I still have about $40 or so for general school supplies that I'm going to wait until all the back to school sales come around, and I'll get pencils, pens, markers, that kind of thing, notebook for storing all of this. And then I also got, my big purchase was a new printer. We have a great printer, but the ink was expensive. So we found this program, and I think I'm going to do a video about it. It's pretty awesome, that I'll share with you what printer we got and what ink system that we're on. You might have heard of it already, but it's so awesome. I don't need to worry about how much ink I'm using, so I'll do another video about that. And then finally, the last thing I'm actually getting today is just general school organization resources. I'm going to get a bookshelf and some boxes to organize all of this stuff. And I'll probably do another video about our school classroom, or whatever you want to call it. So that's everything. Budget friendly, school year supply, and it's gonna be lots of fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure and give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you next time.